Hey Matthew readers, today's reading is one of the most dramatic and emotion-filled, I think, of any reading we've had so far. It's Jesus' evening in the Garden of Gethsemane and his betrayal and arrest. So what I would encourage you to do, if you haven't already, is take a minute to quiet your phone and create some quiet space and read this passage. Read it once, read it twice, maybe even read it 3 times, and try to immerse yourself in this story, in this moment. I won't try to explain too much. I don't know that explaining is what unlocks the power of what happens in this moment. But for me, what's powerful about watching Jesus pray is to see how he deals with emotions. That when Jesus is confronted with uncertainty and pain and darkness, he doesn't suppress it. He doesn't ignore it. In fact, he kind of welcomes it as he walks straight into it, staring down the darkness. And you can hear his anguish. I've said this in the weekly email, but Tim Mackey calls this a panic attack. He thinks what Jesus is having is the equivalent of a panic attack, where he's breathing heavy and he's sweating blood. I mean, this is passionate and powerful. He's feeling his emotions. And yet, at the end of the scene, he surrenders to his Father and says, not what I want, but what you want be done. And he says, not my will, but thy will. He makes his request known. I don't want this to happen. If it's possible, take this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what thy will be done. And I think that's a model for us for how we weather the storms in our lives. That we are not supposed to ignore them or shy away from them, that God actually invites us to feel everything that's included in the experience, including the pain and the depths of our grief and sorrow and fear. And at the end of the day, to trust that he's with us, that he is for us, and that he is working through the pain, even when we can't see it. So I hope that as you read this prayer today, that you would feel freedom to endure and to embrace and to persevere in whatever challenge it is that you're facing, that you would be honest and impassioned in your prayer for healing, for relief, and that ultimately, in the end, you would trust that your Heavenly Father is with you and for you, and that his will is the one that ought to be done, not ours. So blessings on you as you read today. Carve out that quiet space and see what you hear from God.